or the graphite rocks, however, have a density of about 2.7. So see, I'm going to explain you it very easily. So you have to just concentrate on this thing, don't concentrate on anything else, don't get distracted by anything. So this is the crust, the most thinnest part of the earth structure, that is then mantle, then the core. The core is divided into two parts, but in this part we are going to discuss three. So this is the crust, okay, this is the mantle, this is the core. So the crust, it has a density of about 2.7. The crust is what? The surface layer. The crust is what? The surface layer. Here we have the roads on the crust or everything. Crust is the most upper layer. Okay. It has 2.7. It has 2.7 density. Then it is composed of sial. It is composed of sial. Sial, do you know what is sial? Sial, Si means silica and Al means aluminium. So from this, three questions can come out. That first layer is what? The first layer is crust. Then what is second? Then what is it composed of? It is composed of sial, that is silica and aluminium, or we can say graphite rocks. And what is the density of the crust or the upper layer? That is 2.7. So just learn these three parts. Then comes the mantle. Mantle is composed of SIMA, SIMA. Si means silica and Ma means magnesium. Okay, so from this also they can ask you that what is the middle layer, that is the mantle, is composed of. That is SIMA. SIMA means silica and magnesium. And what is its density? 4.3. Density is 4.3. So these three also you have to learn. Then is a core. Core is composed of Nife. I like Nife word a lot. Nife is nickel and ferrum. Do you know what is ferrum? Ferrum is a scientific name of iron. So it is composed of nickel and iron. And what's its density? That is 16. So 2.7, 4.3, 16. Sial, Sima, Nife. Crust, mantle, core. So learn this all. It's quite important. Learn it. Then comes the structure. Structure of the earth. On the basis of the study of the physical properties of the earth's surface, behavior pattern of seismic waves of the earthquake. So you have chapters earthquakes in third term or the semester 2. There is seismic waves, this word. Okay, so these are the waves of the earthquakes. Okay, so the behavior of the earthquake waves and the lava, this we have discussed in the introduction also, that by the pattern of the earthquake waves and the lava, it is believed that the earth is composed of three parts, that is crust, mantle and core. Okay, so this is the same thing. You see here two diagrams are given, one is this one and one is before what we did is like this one. So this is much better, you do this one, because the second one is quite complex and most of the teachers recommend this one only. Okay, so the next one is what they are saying, this only. Actually, do you know what, I explained you this before only. It is good that I explained you before, because in the introduction the whole of the part was explained that on this basis only, crust, mantle and core. So from this is much clear one. Inner core, outer core, mantle and crust. See, on this Africa is made on the crust. See, this brown part is the crust. Okay, on this Africa, India, Burma, Mexico, Atlantic Ocean. See here, have you seen this one thing? This Guttenberg discontinuity or Moho discontinuity. Okay, it was given in the new terms of your chapter that Guttenberg discontinuity is what? The boundary between the mantle and the outer core. This part, this is a mantle, this part is a mantle and this part is outer core. And what is the boundary? That is Guttenberg discontinuity. Guttenberg is a person. Okay, and then next what they're saying, Moho discontinuity. At Moho discontinuity, this is also a boundary. Okay, here the earthquake waves change their speed. This Moho discontinuity I read here in your new terms, that is Mohorovic Mohorovic discontinuity, it is a layer between the crust and the mantle. See, Gutenberg it is between the mantle and the core. Here I am going to make it again. This is the crust, this is the mantle, this is the outer core, this is the inner core. So between the mantle and between the core, this part is called Guttenberg discontinuity. And what is Mohorovic discontinuity? It is a layer between crust and mantle, this part. Okay, this part. Okay, so this is Mohorovic discontinuity, and this is Gutenberg one. Okay, so let's come back to this diagram. Here everything is given in summary actually. Okay, now we are going to discuss the layers of the earth in detail. So first we are going to discuss about the crust, that is lithosphere. So the word lithosphere has been taken from a Greek word lithos, meaning rock. So we know only that the lithos word, it means rock. The outer layer of the earth structure is about 6 to 48 kilometer thick. The crust, that is 6 to 48 kilometer thick. This is crust, and this is 6 to 48 kilometer thick. It consists of two layers, that is Sial and Sima. It consists of two layers, that is Sial and Sima. It is divided into two parts. And then what is Sial? We know, I have discussed with you that what is Sial. Sial consists of silica and aluminium. Okay, so the Sial consists of a solid or continental part of the earth crust. It's solid in state. They are composed of many kinds of rocks which have the density and composition of granite. So silica and aluminium is equal to granite. This granite layer is often called Sial because of the predominance of silica and aluminum. Do you know what is predominance? Dominance means that it's suppressing. Okay, dominance means suppressing. So means the concentration of silica and aluminum is more in this layer. The granite layer or Sial floats on Sima. So this is something. This is a crust, this part, this whole part is a crust, this downside is Sima, and this is Sial. Okay, now comes Sima. Sima, the lower continuous layer termed Sima because of its richness in silica and magnesium, has an average density and composition similar to that of the common black volcanic lava called basalt. Basalt you would be discussing in the chapter 6, that is rock cycle. Okay, so Sima, they are saying they have the composition and density similar to the black volcanic lava basalt. This basaltic layer directly lies under the ocean floor and here forms the thinnest part of the earth crust. So it's much thinner than Sial. Okay, in the continental areas, the granitic and the basaltic. What is granitic layer? That is Sial. And what is basaltic layer? That is Sima. Together can reach a thickness of about 45 to 48 kilometer. Like at before also 5-6 lines before we discussed 6 to 48 kilometer. Here it's given 45 to 48 kilometer. Both are correct. The density of Sial is lower than Sima. Okay, the Sial's density is 2.7 and Sima's density is 2.95. Then comes the crust on the whole is the thickest beneath the mountain and the thinnest under the ocean. See, let me explain you. Here it's mountain. So you see, this is the density, or this is the density of crust for the mountain. So mountain is under mountain there is thickest, and under the ocean there is thinnest. Okay, so the crust is composed of various kind of rocks and its uppermost parts consist of sedimentary rocks. This part, the uppermost part, it consists of sedimentary rocks. Okay, so this sedimentary layer is not continuous over the entire surface of the earth and is usually thin. Okay, so the sedimentary layer, it's usually thin. The thickness of the sedimentary rocks varies from 3.2 to 32 kilometer. See the thickness of the sedimentary rocks in the folded mountains. You know folded mountains? Okay, so you don't know folded mountains. It's a kind of mountains. Okay, in chapter number 5, that is landforms of the earth, you would be discussing about folded mountains. Actually, these folded mountains, these are formed by some sort of crustal movements. Okay, so under folded mountains, the thickness of the sedimentary rocks is 3.2 to 32 kilometer. Thus, the granitic layer, that is Sial, consists of most continents, and basaltic layers, that is Sima. It consists of oceans and they form the upper layer, that is called crust. However, Sial is a discontinuous layer floating over the continuous layer of Sima. The contact zone of the crust and mantle is called Mohorovic discontinuity. Moho for short. Moho discontinuity, you can say. So the meeting point, here is a crust, here is a mantle. This part is called Mohorovic continuity, discontinuity, or Moho discontinuity. Both are correct. After the Yugoslav scientists who discovered it. So this Moho discontinuity, this is discovered by Yugoslav scientist. Yugoslav scientist. Okay. So next what we are going to discuss, this is the difference, quite important. Sial is the uppermost layer of the earth crust and Sima is below the Sial layer. Sial's thickness is 20 kilometer and Sima's thickness is 25 to 30. Sial composed of, this is the main difference. Sial composed of silica and aluminum, and Sima it's composed of silica and magnesium. Sial layer is not continuous as it is not traceable on the earth basin. Ocean basin. How is it not? You see, here is the ocean. You know, ocean is more. So, see, like here, there is Sial, and here Sial would not be present because ocean is only there. Okay, so here, what they're saying, it is a continuous layer. Now we are going to discuss about mantle. Earth's second layer is mantle, a layer between the crust and the core with its upper boundary marked by Moho discontinuity and lower is Guttenberg discontinuity. See, this is the crust, this is a mantle, this is the core. So this is Moho discontinuity and this is Guttenberg discontinuity. So what is the depth of mantle? 35 to 29 kilometer. 35 to 2900 kilometer. So you have to learn this in this chapter. There are a lot of depths given, you have to learn it. The density ranges from 3.3 at Moho discontinuity to 3.7 at Guttenberg discontinuity. See what they are saying this, that here is a crust, here is the mantle and here is the core. So at Guttenberg discontinuity, this part, okay, this is at this there is 3.7 density, at here Moho discontinuity 3.3 dis. Okay, so this layer is composed of magnesium and iron. I told you Sima, that is so yeah, silica. Okay, iron silicates, silica and magnesium, along with the substantial quantities of sulfides and nickel and iron in the lower mantle. So it is also divided into two parts, that is upper mantle, lower mantle. Upper mantle is called asthenosphere and lower mantle mesosphere. So the upper mantle, it's composed of Sima, okay, and the lower mantle, it's composed of Sima and also some Nife. Most of the times Nife. Do you know why Nife is only composed? Because it lies quite closer to core. Core is composed of Nife. So the lower part of asthenosphere like mesosphere is, the lower part of asthenosphere like mesosphere is solid, but the upper part is molten. See, the upper mantle, that is asthenosphere, that is molten in state, partially molten. and the mesosphere that is solid in state. Okay, so what we're discussing, barosphere or core, we can say it's barosphere also. It consists of two parts, that is core and inner core. Core is the central part of the earth. Okay, so the central part of the earth is also known as core. It probably consists of nickel iron alloy, that is Nife, and its temperature is about 27 degrees Celsius. So sometimes at 4000 degrees Celsius, sometimes it's 4300 degrees Celsius. So the outer perimeter of the core commences at the Guttenberg discontinuity at 2900 kilometers from the surface. So they are saying, like, if we measure the perimeter of the core up to Guttenberg discontinuity, like this, here it's crust, this is Mohorovic discontinuity, this is Guttenberg, this is core, here this is core. So this part है ना, up to, and leaving this part is 2900 kilometer, where this outer core exists in molten form. So this outer core, it exists in partially molten form. Then is our chapter is almost going to be complete. I would be also discussing the exercises, because mostly 9th standard exams from exercises. The inner core with a radius of 1400 kilometer. So it has a radius 1400 kilometer. It is believed to consist of Nife. Nife is nickel, and ferrum. Ferrum means iron, but is forced into a solid state by increased pressure. So if pressure is increased, the thing which is in molten state, it becomes in solid state. So why, do you know why there is increased pressure? If the pressure is increased, the temperature is decreased. If the temperature is decreased, what would form? Solid would form. Like if we are putting ice in a refrigerator, what happens? The temperature is low, so it just forms solid state. So 3 million tons greater at the center of the earth at its force. So what they are saying, that there is 3 million tons of Nife present in the earth, center of the earth. The density of this layer is from 14.5 to 16. The temperature also increases sharply with the descent into the earth until it may reach at least 4000 degrees Celsius. So the temperature goes on increasing as we go down the earth up to 4000 degrees Celsius. So this is content analysis. Mostly is the same, only I read it before. Now this is the mind map. If you, sometimes what happens is we're not getting time, like whenever we are standing, that just last 5 minute reading we want for any test, for any exam, you can use this is important part. Okay, 1 minute, yeah, here, this is quite important part. Okay, the structure is divided into three parts: crust, mantle, and core. Okay, so its names are also given. Crust is called lithosphere, mantle pendulite shell, and core barosphere. So crust is divided into two parts: Sial, Sima, mantle upper lower, and core is inner core, outer core. So it's quite easy. You have to learn this. This is just the revision, or this is just the summary of this chapter. This is technical terms, these are quite important. Many of the students don't learn this, and these are in our question answers also. So here, what do you mean by lithosphere? At page number 42, you see here, 42 page number. Here the word lithosphere has been taken from the Greek word lithos, meaning rock. You can write this also, that there are three realms of the earth. Lithosphere is one of the parts, and lithosphere is the land part. Okay, this you can write quite easier. The next part, name the two layers of lithosphere. We know what are the two layers of lithosphere: Sial and Sima. What do you understand by mantle? Mantle is a middle layer. Mantle, everything you have to write about mantle. Mantle is a middle layer, and It's between the crust and the core, and the upper boundary is marked by Moho discontinuity, lower is marked by Guttenberg discontinuity. Depth of mantle is between 35 to 2900 kilometers. So this part you can write. If you are able to understand this chapter from my video, I can see that you can answer these questions quite easily. So next, what they're saying, what do you understand by mantle? We done it. What is a position of mantle in the earth? See, you have to just write that it's marked between the crust and the core. Just this thing. What is core? Core is the center part of the center. Okay, just the center of the earth. But what are the names it called? Barosphere. We done this. State the composition of CR layer, silica and aluminium. State the properties of the core. Here we have did properties of the core. This that its first property you can write consist of Nife, sorry, and the temperature is what you can write. This 2 points you got, you can write it in points. Then you can, what else you can write, that the outer core is in molten state, Hana. Okay, and what you can, another what you can write, you got 3 points from here. And what else you can write here, also from you can write here that the density of the inner core is 14.5 to 6. Okay, 4 points you got from here. So what is earth's crust composed of? You know what is earth's crust composed of? Sial and Sima, silica, aluminium, silica and magnesium. Why does the temperature increases as we go down? Reason they are asking that why temperature increases, it's quite easy. First of all, there is high temperature. These like we done na, let me explain you. I will give you a short form. TPD. Temperature, high temperature. Pressure, low pressure. Density, change in density. So there is change in these three, so there is temperature increase. So why there is temperature increase? Because there are lot of gases present which speed up the increase in the temperature. How does Sial differ from Sima? We done this, the table which I've explained you. First is that Sial composed of silica and aluminium. Sima is composed of silica and magnesium. Second, that Sial is the upper layer. Sima is the layer downside of Sial. Okay, then Sial is a discontinuous layer. Sima is a continuous layer. So these all 4 points are given in your table that you can do. Name the two most important and abundant chemical elements present in the earth crust. What are present? You know what's present in the earth's crust? Two most important chemical elements. I think we did this. Yeah, you see here. These are the two elements, uranium and thorium. I had thought only this, but I was just confused in this part. Then next, what's meant by Mohorovic discontinuity? Here it's given. This part. Okay. Here this part it's given. Okay. What is mantle composed of? Now what is mantle composed of? Mantle is composed of silicate rocks. Here also it's given much more. Mantle composed of magnesium, iron, silicates, and lower mantle it composed of Nife. What else it's given? Define. Now crust, you know, crust is the upper layer. Mantle is a middle layer present between crust and core. Core is the center part of the earth. Nife is what? Nife is nickel and iron. Crust and core, we also know that crust is the upper layer, core is the lower layer. Sial also, Sima also, these are given in table only. Diagram showing the composition. The same diagram you can make. This same diagram. Okay. So this is all about that chapter. So I made this video on the request of Dipti. Dipti, I felt really very good when you commented on my first video, that is Earth as a Planet. I felt really very nice that some people are able to understand that. So I would be sending, I would be able to I will find the way by which I can just provide the notes to you of this chapter. Actually, I just made some sort of quick revision notes. They are just of 3 pages. So I think I would send them by the use of Telegram or any link I would send. So wait for my next video, or and just stay updated. Please subscribe to my channel so that you can get updated by what I would be sending. Okay, so thank you.